Welcome in, y'all. Elite Eight picks game start today. We'll get right into it. We got Iowa and Illinois first. Iowa making a lot further than people thought they would. I originally actually had them going pretty far. In my original bracket, I did have them beating Florida, but I did have them falling to Nebraska. In this one, I think it's going to be a close game. Iowa plays teams close all year. You can look at it against top opponents, close losses. I think it's the same here. I think they stay in this game. They're in it throughout, but I think Illinois' size is going to be too much for them. Illinois is a very big team. Iowa can struggle with that. I have this one 65-69, so Iowa would cover that Illinois 7-point line. But I do think they advance to the Final Four. Illinois was just incredibly impressive against Houston. Houston, one of the best teams in the nation. And at that point, they were easily the favorite to come out of the region. But now it is certainly Illinois in this one. I think they take care of business and get to the Final Four. Now, the next one, a pair of one and two seeded teams. We have two of these games in the Elite Eight, Purdue and Arizona. It's seeded 1 and 2, but I personally have Arizona just a pretty decent leg up on Purdue. I have Arizona not only winning this and advancing to the Final Four, but covering that 5.5 as well. It certainly will be a good game. You have a 1 versus 2. Anything can happen. Would not shock me, right, for Purdue to win. But I really do think you look at Arizona's metrics, the way Arizona's played recently, the way Arizona's played all year. Arizona is just the better team. And, this is one of those, I think 7 out of 10 games, if they played each other, I think Arizona takes it. So I have that happening here. Good run so far for Purdue. But yeah, this is where it ends. And I will also note, though, with Purdue, while they have made it this far, they haven't really played any juggernauts on their way to getting here. It's been a fairly easy path, Queens followed by Miami, followed by Texas. They really haven't faced incredible challenges. Not that Arizona has either, but they, Arkansas was probably better than any of those teams that Purdue has faced thus far. The next game, the first Sunday game, Tennessee and Michigan. Tennessee, a little run they have gone on. They were not getting enough top coming into this tournament. They were a darn good team. Props to them for making it this far. They've took down a 3 seed, a 2 seed. They're playing good basketball. Michigan is 7.5-point favorites in this one. I think this one comes down to the wire. I don't love Michigan, but as you can see, I do think Michigan will pull it out. But man, it's going to be a tight one. This one will. Michigan, their scores, I think, have looked a little more inflated than some of their games have been. St. Louis was in that for, I'd say, a little over half the game against Michigan. And, just the other night, Alabama was in that for pretty much almost the whole game, it felt like, as well. So I think Tennessee will stick in it with Michigan, and Michigan will win a close one there. The last game of the Elite Eight, though, we have Yukon versus Duke. What a matchup this is. This one's really exciting. A 1 versus 2. And, on paper, the analytics and stuff, the teams, Duke is the better team. They are. However, I'm going to go with Yukon. I think you can tell by the way they've played their last couple games. You've seen, the 2 national championships they've won in the last 3 years. Yukon is built for March. They know how to get it done in these moments. Duke has looked very shaky in this tournament. They looked shaky against the 16 seed. They let TCU hang around for a while before blowing it up at the end. St. John's, they were trailing a decent amount of that game. Duke isn't playing as dominant as I know they can. They absolutely can. They might be, I would say, maybe the best team in this tournament, but they're just not playing up to that. And I think Yukon gets them. I think Yukon is ready for this moment. I think Duke isn't quite. So I obviously Yukon, being 5.5-point underdogs, will cover that, and I have them winning outright. So those are my Elite Eight picks, which would leave Yukon versus Illinois and Arizona versus Michigan for the Final Four. That would be pretty fun. I'd be looking forward to that, and we'll see how it all shapes out.